Welcome to another film review, guys, here on the Geek Boulevard channel. I'm Steve, I love movies, and I got to check out In a Violent Nature from IFC Films and Shudder. The film is not rated due to its very violent imagery. It is directed by Chris Nash with a runtime of 1 hour and 34 minutes. I won't dive into the plot too much here, as I feel just giving a generic synopsis could just pretty much spoil the whole film for you. But basically, there is a dead soul by the name of Johnny who rises from the grave due to a 60-year-old crime that took place and takes revenge on some of the young adults out in the woods. I mean, you pretty much know how this stuff pans out in the end. I think the point of view for most of the film worked for me, as the perspective is mostly on the killer, Johnny, which is different. You never really got that with films like Friday the 13th, which this takes heavy inspiration from. In fact, it's a full-on ripoff if you ask me. There's a lot of tracking shots of him just walking and looking menacing, which was definitely tense the first 2 times I saw it, but it kept happening so frequently, and it just kind of really started to bog down the film's pacing, because the camera would just stay on those shots a little too long of just him walking slowly. And because this film does have an 80s slasher vibe to it, it also comes with very cheesy dialogue. I wouldn't say it's outright terrible, but it's very on the nose when it comes to the exposition and like explaining how Johnny has come back from the dead to take his revenge and stuff. Most of it just felt very forced in its delivery. I think with the exception of one for sure, and maybe another one towards the end of the film, the kills didn't really look all that creative and not as gory as I personally was expecting out of it, which I guess is fine, because I'd like to still enjoy eating my popcorn while watching someone get murdered in a horror movie. But I think a lot of the early reactions that the movie was making them sick midway through to the point where people were puking, that just seems like an over-exaggeration to me. Or maybe they just had bad seafood before going to see the movie, who knows. I did like Johnny's design as this subhuman, rotting killing machine, especially with the mask on his face, but outside of it looking cool on camera, it just wasn't very original, and to be honest, the entire film is not very original. So overall, I think unfortunately I have to give In a Violent Nature a score of 2 out of 5. Despite the welcoming change in perspective, with the camera mostly staying on the killer's point of view and Johnny's design being rather cool on screen, it wasn't original in the slightest. The forced and cheesy dialogue just took me out of the movie a few times, and the uncreative kills, with the exception of 1 or 2, made the film as a whole just feel very uninteresting, and obviously just made this movie feel like a Friday the 13th ripoff. Now, if you just have to see it because you just love the genre so much, I think you'll still enjoy it at face value for what it is. But I guess for me, I don't know, I just wanted more out of this. But what did you guys think of In a Violent Nature? Did you see it yet? Or are you just gonna wait for it to come to streaming? Out of all the slasher franchises out there, Halloween, Friday the 13th, Scream, which one do you enjoy the most and is like the most successful to you? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and don't forget, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, keep it classy and keep it geeky.
Animals don't get too hung up on reason. They just keep killing.